Hi everybody, Buzzsaw Gaming here with my little gamer buddy, Mr. Buzzsaw right there, and we're showing our collection of mini consoles. On the background there you have the TurboGrafx 16 mini console hooked up to the 50-inch Sony 4K as well. Now, as far as these mini consoles, I mean, I thought they were a wonderful idea when they first came out. I believe it was around 2017, something like that, when they first came out. But I remember looking for the original one right here, the original NES Classic, and I just could not find it anywhere. It was just impossible to find. Retailer after retailer, just nobody had it. It was impossible to find. And finally I had to resort, after many years of looking for it, to go into eBay, where I finally found it. Now, as far as the mini consoles here, I only have 5. So this is also a top 5 mini consoles, you can say. So out of all the mini consoles, these are the 5 that I like. These are my top 5. Also, I brought out the Super Nintendo right here, the original Super Nintendo with the NES, with the Super Nintendo Mini right there as well, just for comparison. So you can see the size differences there, and really how it's set up too. You can see it's a really close one-to-one replica, I would say, from the mini system to the original Super Nintendo right there. Now, as soon as I got my NES Mini, of course I loved it. It was great. It was so much fun. The game selection is wonderful. I mean, it has 30 games. It has a really good selection of the best 30, I would say, or pretty darn close to the best 30 games that the original Nintendo had. So it was a wonderful way to hook it up to an HDMI TV. Although I have my Sony Trinitron, it's still nice to have it. You can take it places where, you know, most people or most places you go to just have an HDMI connection, so it can play basically anywhere. Now, as far as these mini consoles, I mean, the only real drawback, I mean, there is a tiny bit of lag on the mini consoles, I would say. A very small amount. And there are slight differences as well. I mean, it's not the original hardware. I mean, I have the original hardware, so that's the way I prefer to play. But these mini consoles are a nice alternative as well, just to set it up and just have a bunch of games and not have to cycle through the games and all that. So I think that's great. Looks like it switched over to Bonk right there on the flat screen TV there. And also one more thing too with the NES Classic Edition, the controller wires are extremely short, so there's some extenders you have to buy. Kind of reminds me of the original TurboGrafx 16, where you have to have extenders basically to play the game properly. It was just way too short the way they did it. But other than that, no complaints. The Super Nintendo one, when that came out, they basically made improvements as far as the cord length. It's a lot better. The game selection is fantastic on the Super Nintendo mini console as well. Just really great games. I mean, that's the other thing about these mini consoles. If you were to actually go out and physically collect all these games on original hardware and all that, it would cost a fortune. Especially the Super Nintendo and even more so for the TurboGrafx 16. Like those two right there would cost in the thousands of dollars to collect those games. So it's a nice way and a convenient package to kind of have the better games right there, right at your fingertips. I think it's Rondo of Blood coming up right here now. But you can see, you can imagine buying Rondo of Blood is extremely expensive. Anyways, there's a Sega Genesis Mini right there. That one I liked a lot as well. It did a really good job, I think. It had the original one, the original Model 1. I don't have the other one. I believe there's a Model 2 as well with a different set of games. I just have this original one right here. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun as well. It just brings back all those memories. It looks so good. And I think you can even buy all the attachments for it too. Like you can buy the little 32X thing for it. You can buy the a CD attachment for it. Now they don't work, but it's basically you can recreate the Tower of Power in a in a miniaturized version. So a lot of fun with that. Now the one hit I would say, or the one miss, would be the original PlayStation right here, this mini. They went with the original controller, which is fine, but I'm just not a big fan. I like the controller that was updated with the thumbsticks on it. Also, the selection of games is kind of weird, and some of them are in PAL as opposed to North American standard, which I'm not quite sure either why they did that. But anyways, I paid something like $20 for this. So yeah, there's Rondo of Blood right there, which is awesome. Something like $20 for it, so for that it was worth it complete in box, so it wasn't a big deal. And going to the TurboGrafx 16, I mean, this is my favorite of the mini consoles, I would say. I mean, just the wealth of games on here, just the amount of games is just unbelievable. It would just cost an absolute fortune to collect all of this right now with the price of TurboGrafx 16. And as you know, that's one of my top 5 favorite systems of all time. So I really enjoy it. There it is right there on the ground. You can see how it is. It looks just like an exact replica, really. They did make some quality of life improvements though, like the cord is long, so that's nice. And also, there's a place for 2 controllers, so you don't have to have a turbo tap in order to have more than 1 controller. So that's also a nice quality of life improvement for the TurboGrafx 16 mini. Now when these came out, like I said, the Nintendo one was really hard to find. It took me a very long time. I finally gave up, and after years of just casually searching, and I just gave up and I just went to eBay and I bought it. Same with the Super Nintendo one, I bought it from eBay as well. It just was too difficult to find. They were just so popular, so I couldn't find it anywhere whatsoever. Now as far as the TurboGrafx 16 one, what I did with this one is actually I signed up with Amazon Japan, and that's how I ordered it. So I know it was first available through Amazon Japan, and that's what I did. So I ordered it through there. It was, you know, all in Japanese, and it was a little bit cumbersome to go through, but I made an account, I ordered it, and yeah, it showed up in the mail. So it was awesome. I had it a little bit early, and it's great. It's all, you know, it's all in English anyways. You know, when you switch between TurboGrafx 16 and PC Engine, there's a lot of you know, Japanese characters and things like that, but the TurboGrafx side is all in English there. So it was just, yeah, when it came in the mail, wow. I never thought in a million years it'd be a TurboGrafx 16 mini, because it just wasn't a popular console. It just wasn't one of those, you know, big massive sellers. Like, I mean, I can understand the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Genesis, like these 3, I can understand having a mini console because they were just massive hits. But as far as the TurboGrafx 16, it blew my mind away when this came out. It was just, and it's such an, I think actually of all the mini systems, I have 5 here as my top 5 mini consoles. This will be number 1. Number 2, I think it's probably the Super Nintendo right here. Number 3 would be the NES, the original NES. Number 4 would be the Genesis, and kind of a distant 5th would be the PlayStation. So that's kind of my ranking as far as the top 5 of these mini consoles. As you can see, I mean, this is just, you know, it was just such a great idea that Nintendo came out with that everybody had to copy it, and rightfully so. It's just was a great idea. It was good for the time. It just made a lot of sense, and, you know, kind of, I guess, fueled that nostalgia that a lot of people had. A lot of people that had these consoles, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that threw them out, that, you know, sold them for whatever reason, that, you know, people move around and you just don't have them anymore. People that also don't have the right TV. So just a lot of these different things, different factors that happened that, you know, brought forth a great idea to have the mini console. So I'm happy they're here. I really enjoy them. I don't play them that often, to be honest. I mean, these are more of a novelty for me. I mean, I think this is more like if you're going to go somewhere, you know, you just want to take a small box, a TurboGrafx box, and you can go play, you know, wherever you are. in an easy format, traveling somewhere. I think it's an absolutely wonderful idea because there's no way I would take the original hardware. Also, it's great for, you know, family and friends that maybe don't have any gaming systems, that they can just hook this up and they have, you know, a bunch of retro games in a box. So I think that's another wonderful thing right there about these mini systems. And yeah, I mean, I think that's about all with the mini consoles. I keep them all in their original packaging. They're all complete in box. I mean, they're not that old anyways, but it's nice to have them all in one place. And yeah, that's all. Anyways, this is my setup as far as the HDMI setup that I have, and they would play here if I ever were to take them out and use them. And thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. There's Mr. Buzzsaw hanging out on the mini Sega Genesis right there, having a nice day. He's probably ready to eat right now. And thank you. Please let me know what kind of content you want in the future. I'm considering doing a room tour, maybe some top 5s and things like that of different consoles, and maybe some other content as well, some Let's Play content and things like that could be interesting for people to check out. Anyways, have a wonderful day.